So question 5 reads, describe your process for engaging your students and their families in your vision and goals. What evidence do you have that students and families internalize your vision and goals? So I'm going to take this opportunity to answer the question through the lens of my advisory. I haven't had a chance to talk about them too much yet, and in many ways they're actually the most important thing to me here at the school. So my advisory is a group of young men with whom I've been since they arrived here at Chicago Bulls College Prep. So we met at their freshman orientation, and I see them anywhere from 2 to 4 times a day, every day for all 4 years. As such, they're the ones that I've gotten to know the best, they're the families that I've gotten to know the best, and they are the ones who will, I think, those relationships will stick with me the most, just because of how much time we spent together and how close we've become over the years. So as far as investing my students in my vision and goals, one way that we did that early on the freshman year was to create the advisory core values, which came from them and made it all the more meaningful because it came from them. They came up with leadership, support, thinking twice, organization, and proactiveness, the acronym for which has come to be known lovingly as LSTOP. And those LSTOP values continue to inform shout-outs at the end of every single day, and they have since my students were freshmen. I also believe in a maximum level of transparency and a really high level of autonomy for my advisory students, so I always let them know exactly what's coming, exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing. The rationale behind everything is always extremely transparent. There are no tricks. I'm not trying to put one over on them at any time. They know exactly what I'm about, why I'm here, why I care about what we're doing, and they always understand where everything's coming from. From early on, I've had the goal of making it as much of a self-sustained advisory as possible, and we've certainly been at the stage for quite a while now where I'm certainly an important and integral part to the advisory, but I also know that if I needed to leave for any reason due to an illness or what have you, that they could run the show on their own, and that's something that's something that we've been proud of for a long time. We constantly check in on our data. Every Thursday they get an incredibly detailed spreadsheet, and they conference in their squads about how they're doing from a disciplinary standpoint and academic standpoint. They talk about what they've done in the last week to improve in whatever areas they're struggling, talk about attendance, and they're always very aware of where they're at. They know their own GPAs, they know the advisory GPA. We're always on top of those statistics. And I also implement plenty of extra cultural pieces. So, for example, over last winter break, they had an added assignment which was just from me to read a book called Uncommon, which is by Tony Dungy, who's the former coach of the Indianapolis Colts. And that book gave us a way and a vocabulary with which to speak about what it means to become a man and to define manhood in an uncommon way, counter to some of the narratives about manhood that are running through our society right now. So we do spend quite a lot of time on culture. As far as the families go, I see their families every quarter at report card pickup, and the school does not require, however, I do require that my students come with their families to report card pickup. So 4 times a year I'm sitting down with not only my advisory students, but with their parents, talking through their progress, talking through where they're heading, fielding questions, talking through concerns, and then I stay in touch as needed via phone, via email, via text message. My advisory students' parents know that they can reach out anytime they need to, and they certainly do take advantage of that. Last year, as they moved from being underclassmen to upperclassmen, my students ran their own orientation meeting for the parents, where my advisees were in charge of putting together and running an agenda after school, and we had all the parents come, and my students laid out for them what to expect in these final 2 years of high school and how they could help them. And I think just in general, especially through not only my contact as their advisor, but also through the fact that many of my students are in the double up enrichment, which I mentioned earlier, I feel like I have a very close relationship with not only the students, but their parents. My students are known to read books that I'll assign them and then pass those books on to family members, and there is, I think, a great level of support and single-mindedness when it comes to the mission of what we're trying to accomplish.